Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to start sorting out some of the cosmetic issues with the Astra, starting with polishing these headlights. So as you can see, these headlights are pretty crazed and glazed, very dull all round, a bit yellow. That's just sort of been exposed to the sunlight and the elements for years. So I did actually try polishing these last year with a bespoke polishing kit, but as you can see, didn't have a lot of success. So this is the kit I used. You start off with the P800 grit discs, and they go on a little polishing thing there that goes on your drill. Then you move up to P1500 and then to the 3000 to give it the final polish, and then there is some polishing here. I don't want to, oops, I've already shown it a little bit, but I don't really want to show the manufacturer of this kit because it might have just been me not using it correctly. But anyway, like I say, didn't have a lot of success in that, using that. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to use a block with some wet and dry on it, and obviously some water just to lubricate it. This is a P800 grit. I don't really want to go any coarser than that, but we'll see if this gets the marks and things that are out, that are in the headlights, see if it gets that out already. If not, we'll try a P400 or something, but that'll do nicely to start with. So as we see, that one's pretty bad. The other headlight I don't think's quite as bad, although you can see some crazing and yellowing on top of here. I think down the front might be a little bit better, I don't know, very scratched. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use some panel wipe. Got some stuff there just to wipe off any polish and road debris and stuff on there, because we don't want to be rubbing that into the plastic itself. So let's get on with that and see how we get on. Right, so first thing we're going to do is just give it a wipe over with a cloth with some panel wipe on it, just to get any road residue off of it, any bugs, polish or grease or anything that might be on there. And we just let that dry. Right, so the next stage is just to protect the surrounding bodywork, because you don't want to accidentally sand your paintwork. So as you see, I've lifted the bonnet up because that edge is then clear, and put some masking tape along there. I'm just going to continue just tucking it behind the headlight there, a few more pieces round just to protect the wing. Don't have to be too accurate with this, but just make sure you cover the bodywork up to the headlight. Right, with that done, it's time to get on with the sanding. Yeah, so like I said, all I'm going to do is use a block. This is a rubber sanding block with some P800 grit wet and dry on it to start with, and I've just got an old detergent bottle here, spray bottle with some water in it, just clear water, and I'm going to use that to start sanding the headlight. Right, as you can see, I've started sanding the top of the headlight, and all this greeny, creamy yellow stuff that's coming off is good, because that's showing that we're getting all the rubbish off the headlight. I just gave it a little squirt of water. Just need to get right in the corners there, and always sand in one direction, and I'll explain that why that is in a minute. I feel that's starting to get a bit sticky now, so I'm just going to squirt a little bit more water on the wet and dry. Just wipe that off, or wet that off again. So again, always straight lines backwards and forwards. Okay, so as you can see, we got a lot of creamy residue off. I've just done the top half here at the minute, so we can see the difference between the bottom. I'm just going to wipe that off, clean that off a little bit. So what you want to look for, which is pretty much what we've got, we'll just wait for it to dry a little bit. Probably needs a little bit more work, but what you want to look for is all that to be a uniform amount of scratching. So we can see I need to do a little bit more work here. This bit's not too bad, a little bit more work at the edges, I think, just to get that completely uniform across. So let's get on with that. Decay and dirt off of it. So that looks quite good. You can see compared to the front of the headlight that I haven't sanded yet, the difference. So I'm now going to carry on and sand the front of the headlight with the P800 grit wet and dry. Right, so as you can see, we've sanded this all down. Got the bottom half the same as the top half now. It's pretty even all the way over. Might do a little bit more just there. You might be able to notice that right down there, there's still some scratches. They appear to be on the inside because I can't feel those scratches. Can't feel them at all with my nail. And there's a tiny little bit of indentations just there, but I can't get any more of that out. As I say, I can't feel it with my nail, so we'll have to go with that and see how things work out. But now I've got to repeat the whole process with some 1500 grit paper. So we just use the 800. We now need to use the 1500. Okay, before we go over this with the 1500 or the 1500 grit paper, what I'm going to do is just give it a wipe down with panel wipe again, just to get all the residue of the 800 grit off. Make sure it's nice and clean. Okay, that should do it. Okay, so that's nice and cleaned off. Like I say, we're now going to use the 1500 grit again on the sanding block, and again some water. What we're going to do this time is we're actually going to sand that way, because what we want to do, we've done all the 800 grit sanding this way, and what we want to do now is go that way and take out all the scratches, which is what's making this look dull. Take out all the scratches that we've put in with the 800, take it out with the 1500, so it should be a lot finer. So what I'm going to do again is do this top section up to this line, and hopefully we'll be able to see the difference between this bit and this bit once we're finished. Right, so it's started to make a little bit of difference. You can see that's a little bit smoother than the front bit. Still got a bit of work to do just here especially, and just here, and sort of generally all over, but we're getting there, so we'll carry on. Right, so I think we're just about there now with it. As you can see, I don't know if you can see in the camera, if you look closely you can see all the scratches are now going this way, but they're finer scratches. And then if you look at the front, we've still got scratches going that way because we haven't polished that yet. So I'm going to crack on and polish this bit, again going downwards like that to try and get out all these scratches that are in there, using the 1500 grit. Okay, so now you can see we've got most of the scratches out now. Everything looks like it's going down that way rather than across. There's still these marks in here, but I just can't get those out. Like I say, I can't even feel them with my nail, so there must be either cracks in the plastic or on the inside of the headlight. I don't know how they've got on the inside, but hey ho. So now we've got to repeat the process once again, and this time we're going to be going that way again, with P2000 wet and dry. What you'll notice there is the masking tape started to come off because it's got wet and I've touched it and it's pushed off, so I'm going to dry that all off, remask up and crack on with repeating the process for the third and final time with the P2000 wet and dry. Okay, so I've gone over it with the 2000. It feels nice and smooth now. I've got most of the marks out of it. There's still those scratches in there, but like I say, can't feel them. Just gonna have to put up with them because they're not going to come out. Just noticed in the kit that I bought that I showed you earlier, there's actually a 3000 grit pad. And that goes on the little attachment that goes on the drill. So I'm now going to go over it with that. So it's just water again, and the 3000. So I'm going to use that to go over it all and see how that brings it up, and see how we get on. Yeah, so I've just got my electric drill here. It's got a little foam pad on it, and there's the 3000 grit stuff, which I'm just going to attach to the back of it. Oops, get it the right way up might help. There we go. So I've got that on there, and I'm just going to give that a quick once over with that, and we'll cut back in and see what that looks like. So I'll just sort of cut in and show you what how I'm actually doing this. Let's put a bit more spray, put a bit more water on there, a bit more on the pad. So just using a moderate pressure, I've got the drill on, this drill's got 2 speeds on it, I've just got it on the slowest speed. So just put it at moderate pressure and slow speed. Just doing a couple of passes, backwards and forwards that way, making sure I get around the edges there, and then going up and down as well, just to get a uniform finish. And the same on the bottom piece. Making sure you get into all the edges. Right, well I've got to say, using that P3000 pad on the drill has made a big difference. It literally took me a couple of minutes to do that, and as you can see now, the headlight is like just a translucent colour, but it's fairly smooth, it feels smooth. I know I keep going on about it, but there are some lines in it here, but they are either cracks in the plastic or scratches. I can't feel those on the outside, so yeah. Next stage is to polish it and get the shine back on it. So yeah, let's give that a go. So what I'm going to do, I thought this might have a little squirty end on it, but it hasn't. Squirty cap, it's just got a big big hole in it. So we'll just put, that's probably more than enough, I should think. And we'll just dab that across the surface of the headlight. Got some more of that. And start polishing. Well, I must admit, I'm quite impressed with that. I went over it twice with that little polishing hood, and it's come out absolutely amazing. I must admit, I had my doubts when we got to the 2000 grit stage, because it seemed that it was still very scratched and dull and no shine to it at all. But using that 3000 pad on the drill, and then the polish on the polishing pad, has brought that up really nicely. So there's only one thing to do now with this one, and that is to put some protectant on it, and that'll be the job done. Okay, so the protector I bought was this K2 lamp protector. I think I got it off Amazon, and it cost about, I don't know, about 10, or I think maybe just under. And it's basically to stop the lenses clouding again. They say it lasts for up to a year. So in the kit you get this little applicator, which it says you need to wrap a cloth around to apply it, which seems a bit strange as to why you've got an applicator. But anyway, hey ho. I guess this is a little polishing cloth to polish it off with, and obviously there's a little bottle of juice itself. Where is it? There. So what I'm going to do is put that on. You have to put it on, leave it for 5 to 10 minutes, let it dry, polish it off, wait half an hour, put another coat on, leave it 5 to 10 minutes, polish it off, and then it says don't wash the car with any chemicals for 7 days. Well, I'm not likely to be doing that, because we need to get on with some more body work and bits and pieces on it. So let's get on and put this protectant on. So I've just got the cloth here, microfiber cloth, and the protectant, and I'm going to wrap that applicator in it. It's inside there. Yeah, put some of this on and splosh it on, I guess. So that's the first coat of sealant and protectant on. I'm going to let that flash off for 5-10 minutes and then give it another coat, but no need for you to see that really. It's just wiping it on and polishing it off. So I'm really happy with how that's turned out, that headlight. I think you'd agree it's a big difference from the beginning. I mean, that one was the worst one, and if we pan across to this one, you can see the state of that. Getting close to it, and the other one was far worse than that. So yeah, it's a massive difference. I'm really impressed. I suppose all in all it's taken me probably an hour to do, if that. But yeah, I'm well happy with that, so I'm going to crack on and do with the other one off camera. There's no need to show you again. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to like and share and subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you in the next one.